Good morning, welcome back. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. We have a couple of events, couple of birthdays to talk about real quick. So we're going to start in 1983 at Rockingham. Terry Labonte wins that race driving for Billy Hagan. This would be Terry's second career win, and it would break a 3-year losing streak. Of course, this would be the year before he wins the title, so he was still kind of learning his way around. He was this team, Billy Hagan's team, was not a top tier team compared to, say, Junior Johnson, Bud Moore, those other outfits, Dygard, Petty Enterprises. They didn't have the sponsorship dollars. They didn't have the funding. They didn't have the resources, but they still got the job done. Like I said, this was Terry's second career win. Fast forward to 1994 on this date, and Terry wins once again at Phoenix, 1994. He won 3 races that year and again broke a 4-5-year losing streak. And this would be the first of 2 years that Terry would win 3 races, the most he'd ever win in a single season. Not really anything exciting happened in that Phoenix race that I can really remember. Just thought it was cool that he won 2 races on the same date. Then we'll go all the way to 2022. Last year on this date, Christopher Bell punches his ticket to the Championship 4 by winning at Martinsville, his second clutch win in the 2022 playoffs, as he also won on the Roval. I believe he won the Roval last year. I can't remember, but I know that he had 2 wins in the playoffs where he needed to win. So let's go ahead and go to our birthdays. First one, I don't have a birthday for, so just happy birthday to her, Mrs. Linda Rudd, wife of Ricky Rudd. Linda kind of kept a low profile through Ricky's racing career. I know she kind of would score for him in the pits, work with some of the teams, but she wasn't like an upfront, in the cameras, doing ownership, doing whatever. She maintained a very low profile during Ricky's career, and I believe they had been together ever since Ricky was, when they were in high school. So we get 2 birthdays with cards. Our first one, born on this day in 1936, sadly passed away in 2022. I remember him on the Diamond P Sports and TNN and a few other, even maybe ESPN, the voice of the NHRA, Dave McClelland. And some of these voices, I can hear them talking about stuff. Obviously, if you grew up around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you have Tom Carnegie, Ken Squires won, Chris Economaki. So many of these legendary and iconic figures in racing, you can hear them talk, and Dave is one of those folks that I can hear his voice when I think about drag racing, especially in the 80s and early 90s when I was watching a little bit more than I don't watch but maybe 1 or 2 races a year now, but when I watched it a lot more back then, he was always opening and closing the show. Our second birthday, born on this day in 1951, also sadly no longer with us, passed away in 2000 in a plane crash, be Mr. Tony Bettenhausen. Tony was there you see the French and the English versions of these cards. Tony was a journeyman IndyCar driver, and we'll flip these ones over to show you that we have the French and the English versions. Tony was a journeyman IndyCar driver, drove his own equipment for a lot of years. I think there may have been a few times he drove for Foyt or drove for some of the other cars. These two look like they have the same uniform. But again, mostly Indy 500s are in 86. He finished 28th. In 85, he finished 29th. But he's always trying to win that Indianapolis 500. Ran many, many, many years alongside his brother Gary Bettenhausen. And they just never did. I think he might have had a 3rd or 4th place finish back in the 70s or early 80s. But like I say, he was a journeyman driver. Never really had the best equipment, but always got the best out of his equipment. So anyway, that has been events and birthdays for this Monday. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks again for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. It would mean a lot. So we will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.